Welcome back, guys. Baby got sex.
Hello. This episode is going to be mainly Ashley because I read this book not that long ago. I don't remember it much of it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't read this book. I skimmed this book, and I still know what happened. So, if that tells you anything. This week we did Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Shockingly enough, I own all of her books except one. I don't own Carrie Soto's back. I'm pretty sure you do, though. Do you?
Yeah,
Do you
I
not?
do.
Okay.
I do.
I don't. That's the only one I don't own. We first, or at least I first learned about her about The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I
That's where we
absolutely
first started.
loved. I
That was a
love
good
that
one.
book. Daisy Jones and the Six, we read for the podcast previously. Loved
Go
that
listen to
one.
the episode. Good time. Great time.
This one, okay. I will go in with saying I did not know what the book was about. Because I
Neither
liked
did
those
I.
other two books so much, she was kind of just like a blind buy. I figured, I'd probably like
Yeah.
them.
I will say, I knew that her starting at Evelyn Hugo and then on to her most recent works were more celebrity, famous people. I don't want to say historical, but like focus on someone famous ish in her universe and their drama, struggle, whatever.
Yeah.
And that I knew previous to that, it was romance in a sense, romance fiction ish. Um, I didn't know until afterwards that this one was her debut,
Which makes way more
which
sense.
unfortunately you really it it yeah, it makes sense.
It was horrendous, is what it was. I'm saying it right now. This book, I don't even know if I want to keep it.
I'm not. It's in the bag to go.
It's beautiful. I
It's
love the cover
pretty.
of it.
It
It's
matches
pretty.
the other ones. Because the ones before Evelyn Hugo all have a certain design on the spine where it's like a color and there's like a half circle, and then yeah, they all have a aesthetic look to them next to each other. But I don't I read it, but I didn't.
This book was a roller coaster, but not in a good way. I was not having a fun time on this roller coaster. I wanted to get off the ride. I gave it a 2, and the only reason I gave it a 2 was because I loved the old man, Mr. Callahan.
Oh yeah, he's in there. I gave it a 2, and I don't think I've ever given a book a 1 yet. Ones are reserved for like, this is absolutely trash, offensive writing. Like, this doesn't deserve to be a book.
Like DNF. I would
Well,
DNF a
I
book
don't
and give it a
know.
1. If you couldn't even get me to
I've
finish the
DNF
book.
books and still given it a 2. If I can still see other people enjoying it, I'll give it a 2.
Okay.
But if I don't think anyone else should lay their eyes on this, like, it doesn't deserve to be a book, it's going to get a 1, which I have not given anything a 1. So it got a 2 because I'm sure, well, I know other people love this book.
I don't know why, I'm going to be honest with you.
My ultimate feeling, like my takeaway now from what I recall of it, was mostly just boredom.
Yeah, so I guess I could read the back of the book.
Yeah.
Okay. This book was a lot to unpack, I tell you that right now. Okay. Elsie Porter is an average 20-something, and yet what happens to her is anything but ordinary. On a rainy New Year's Day, she heads out to pick up a pizza for one. She isn't expecting to see anyone else in the shop, much less the adorable and charming Ben Ross. Their chemistry is instant and electric. Ben cannot even wait 24 hours before asking to see her again. Within weeks, the two are head over heels in love. By May, they eloped. Only 9 days later, Ben is out riding his bike when he is hit by a truck and killed on impact. Elsie hears the sirens outside her apartment, but by the time she gets downstairs, he has already been whisked off to the hospital. There she must face Susan, the mother-in-law she has never met and who doesn't even know she exists. Like, what?
Why? She's so frustrating. She's hypocritical with her friend because, like, she eloped so fast and got with her husband so quickly, but her friend is like so in love. It's like, you can't know that quickly. It's like, bitch, you did.
There were so many times that this book irked me. Poor Dean had to just hear me ranting, like, as I'm sitting next to him. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, so we change timelines between while Ben and her are developing feelings for each other. We see, like, their relationship progress. And then we also get the after Ben passes away with her relationship with Susan and, like, how that progresses as well. I just felt like, one, I do understand that people can fall in love very easily. A lot of times, you know, that's the one. People get engaged very quickly. My mom and stepdad did. Like, I know it can happen, and that's that, but and all good and stuff. But this one felt almost too good to be true. Like, it just felt very fake. Like, Ben, everything was too perfect.
Yeah.
And, like, their fights, like, she would get so mad over, like, nothing. And then it just felt like more toxic than anything else. And I just, it drove me nuts. I didn't like Susan. Susan drove me nuts with how cold she was. And then Elsie with how she was treating her friend Anna. I'm like, Anna's there for you. And she's like, F you, and, like, all this stuff. And, like, she didn't even want to throw the food away that Ben had bought. Like,
Yeah. Gross.
I've never lost a significant other in that way. So I can't say I would never do that. But I could throw food away. I could see, like,
a little extreme.
I could see, like, saving clothes, you know, saving maybe the cologne that he wore, things like that, you know, sentiment gifts, stuff with his handwriting on it. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, heck, I've done that with my grandma's stuff. Like, that makes sense to me. But food, no.
Yeah, no. What really got me was that, like, why didn't Susan know? Like, why didn't they tell her about the marriage? Like, what was the point?
As they were driving to Nevada, he was like, wait, I think I just want to wait and, like, have my mom know and all this stuff. And then Elsie gets, like, super pissed off at him about it.
Yeah.
She was like, you don't want to get me. And he's like, that's not what I'm saying. What got me was at one point in the book, she thinks that her Nuva ring fell out. And so she's panicking. She thinks that maybe they're pregnant now. She talked about maybe getting a plan B. And he's like, well, we don't know when it fell out. It could have been days ago. And then plan B wouldn't even matter. He's like, we're just going to take it one day at a time. If you're pregnant, you're pregnant. We're going to figure this out together. And then she was like, I just couldn't believe no guy has ever said that. So we slept together again. I'm sorry. What?
And then she got her period.
Well, so she was there was two different times. That time and then the current time after he died. Is when she gotten her period. So there's two different instances next to each other. Also, some of the, like, chapters were, like, very, very short, like, one page.
Which honestly,
I don't mind.
For how I was reading it, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I was barely reading it.
I just felt like everything was too good to be true, and then Susan was just like so upset. And I understand she lost her husband, now she lost her only child, now she's alone, and she doesn't know who this person is. But like for her to get pissed off that she was there like at the hospital and was wanting the keys and the wallet and stuff, and she's like, fine, take it. And then she's like, fine, if you want to be the next of kin, you handle everything. She's like, I thought we could do it together. And Susan's like, nope. And I'm like, what? No.
Yeah, it's a very bitchy thing.
Yes.
Very much. It's all too much. She was too much. She felt like a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, and I know obviously in that instance emotions are going to be high and all this stuff, but it was just really annoying how they like kept bringing it up, how they like were only together for 6 months and how they had only been married for 9 days, and so they're like, you can't call yourself a widow, like you guys weren't even like barely married. And it's like, well, yeah,
but they were married, so
yeah. And also Elsie's parents drove me absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
It did make me realize like where she got it.
Yeah, her parents are doctors. Her dad's a neurosurgeon, and her mom is like the chief of the hospital, and so they wanted her to be in the medical field, but she wanted to be a librarian instead. And so she kind of like cut ties with them because they were just always like downgrading her, which now I can see why. But yeah. And so she like told them about Ben, and the mom was like, you were only married for 9 days, you'll bounce back, like you're fine, don't call yourself a widow because then you won't find someone else. All of a sudden I'm like, what is happening?
Very rude. Yeah, they really just minimized her grief.
Yeah, and even like Susan's friends after the funeral, she goes to Susan's house for the like celebration of life, and she hears people talking like, oh wow, she really fooled a lot of people, like do we even believe that she's actually like the wife? I'm like, what? Who?
Yeah, what the hell?
What?
Also right there.
Yeah, there were just so many things that there's just so many things to unpack in this book. I don't know, like it's almost like Taylor Jenkins Reid was like trying to put too much into a book all at once. Like she's just trying to like do everything all at once. It just did.
She's like, how do I make every single character unlikable?
Just felt very sloppy, the book. I don't know.
Yeah. It wasn't very cohesive. Even Mr. Callahan, who was like the one little shining light in this book, even his storyline kind of just like ended. Like it wasn't like followed through by the end.
I thought for sure they were gonna kill off the character. I was like, don't kill the old man too.
Yeah, it really gave off that sense. It's like, plus with everything else going on in the book, it's like, you would just kill him, wouldn't you? You would.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, they just kept talking about like how old he was, and I was like, oh no, like this is not gonna end well.
He's gonna die.
Yeah,
and like, in a sentence, we're gonna find out he died, and then it's gonna be never brought up again.
I did appreciate the library in the honor of Ben. I did appreciate that. After everything, Susan closed Ben's bank account and gave Elsie all the money, and she took it to a bookstore and bought all the young adult books that they had and had it transport over to her library that she worked at, in memory of him. And they were going to have a plaque because he loved reading young adult books, which I did like that. Yeah, I don't know. Susan and Elsie, they got along at the end.
And I don't it does worry me to read the other books that were before Seven Husbands, I will say, because they are all similar genre theme-ish.
Yeah.
And
This one was just like, it was just too depressing, and I don't know. It's just like the poor man just wanted to go and get his wife Fruity Pebbles, and then like got killed because of it. And then the Fruity Pebbles were all over the road. I'm like, oh God. It was just.
I know the description of the Fruity Pebbles everywhere.
I was like, oh Jesus. Yeah. And then at the end we find out that Ben put the wrong social security number on the wedding certificate, and so it hadn't been sent through yet, so they technically weren't married, but she was like, just put it through anyways because I want to make sure that like it was on record that we were married. She's like, that's so sad. Like, I don't know, this is just such a depressing book.
Yeah, it wasn't the right type of drama.
I did like that she punched that man in the library.
That was a good one.
She punched him square in the face. I don't know. Yeah. And then it bothered me when Anna had brought over Kevin, or that she was talking about Kevin. She's just like, I don't know, like the connection that we had on the first date. And then down below it said, first date connections are just Ben and I. So I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, like what? You can't just like copyright first date like good vibes. Like, what does that mean?
Like, I get you're sad. It's going to take a lot for her to process, especially since she didn't have a lot of time with him. So I feel like it's going to be even harder because she just didn't get a lot of time. It's definitely like the what ifs.
I get that you're going to like act out to whoever's closest to you, but like that is your alleged best friend. Like, don't be such a bitch to her. Like, she's just trying to find love.
I know. I just was like, what is? I was like, what is happening? Like, just let her and Kevin be together. I don't know what. Like, geez, Louise.
He's already down a peg because his name is Kevin. Let her find good.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm trying to find what the next book that she wrote is. I know Evidence of the Affair is like a novella.
Oh.
Not a full novel.
Okay.
So I think it's After I Do. After I Do, and then it'd be Maybe in Another Life.
Okay.
And then One True Loves.
And One True Loves, that's the one that just came out for a movie?
That one was the one with the movie.
Okay.
Which I heard, like I saw trailers of it, and then I never heard like what the reviews were. I never heard of it again.
No. Has it? Well, hold on. Let me.
I don't even know what it's on. I'll look up the movie. You look up the Rowdy Roundup.
Oh, okay. My Rowdy 1-star reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's Rowdy Roundup. Okay.
You need a jingle.
I know. I need to think of one. All right. Let me go in. Yeah. So far, I'm not doing good in the books that I'm reading this year. It's a little sad, but it's fine.
You had a rough go with it.
I know. Okay, so it's at a 3.67 stars on Goodreads, 118,820 ratings. It's mainly 4 stars, and then 3 stars is behind it, but not too far behind, and then 5, 2, and 1. So let's go to the 1 and see what chaos. I find myself jealous of the dirt that will get to spend so many years next to Ben's body. This book was so close to getting marked DNF'd. Let's see. I would like to attend whatever writing workshop Reid went into to move from this author to the one who developed the characters of Daisy Jones and the Six.
That's the crazy thing. Like, her writing development grew substantially.
Yes. The male character is pathetic. The female character is stupid. The narration is too slow. Almost all of the dialogue is meaningless.
Just lay it all out on the line.
Yeah. They were both really stupid. Dude ordered tacos in Espanol, and she was like beyond impressed by his bilingual skills. Oh my gosh. The writing's cringe. I did not care the entire time. Bad writing.
Yeah.
Forever waiting for the plot to interrupt the boring storyline.
You know, the writing itself, I feel like, wasn't that bad. Like, her talent was there. It was the character and story development that was lacking.
Yeah.
That's where it fell through.
Someone was like, why does she only have one friend?
Did you read about her? That's why she has one friend. And she's about to lose her.
Yeah. I do not see Ben's appeal. I don't understand how it could possibly be interpreted that he and Elsie have chemistry, let alone a supernova of a relationship. Elsie, in my opinion, is manipulative of Ben. She constantly uses, degrades, and demises her supposed best friend, Anna. Yeah. Yeah, nothing happens with her parents. Like, there's no, like, they don't really get better.
Yeah, things are mentioned, and you're like, okay, maybe something's going to happen there. No. Storylines are just kind of plopped off.
I want to strangle this book. Yeah.
Like, there was no second thought. I'm getting rid of this book.
Someone was like, her Taylor Jenkins Reid's first book, and it really reads like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rough one. I'm nervous about her other earlier works now. We'll say.
I know. At least I can make more space on my shelves.
That's fair. Well, I looked up the One True Loves movie that came out last year. You can watch it on Hulu.
Okay.
It is a 5.4 out of 10 on IMDb and a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that checks out. All right.
Most of the reviews say cheesy, not as good as the book, which usually happens.
Yeah.
The brief part I can read from this article says, fade to black sex scenes in a Twilight-esque run of desperation through the woods.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Very little payoff. Yeah. Yeah. Complicated love triangle. But it has a very interesting concept. So I hope that one's the most recent one before Seven Husbands.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, One True Loves is about a woman, her and this guy are married. I don't know if she thinks he's died because he went missing, or I'm not sure how he ends up dead.
I think he's a pilot in the military, and I think his plane had gone missing.
Okay.
And then it had been so many years, so he's finally just declared dead.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably MIA would be my guess, missing in action.
Yeah.
So then she finds this other guy. I don't know if they get married, but they definitely fall in love. And
I think they become engaged.
Okay, that makes more sense. And then, like, all of a sudden, the guy comes back that she was married to in the beginning. I was like, ooh, spicy. That could be a crazy story.
Yeah. Because you can easily put yourself in that situation and be like, what the fuck?
Like, what would I do?
Like
I would die.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you lose your first love, and it's like hard to think of like, will you find another love at all again? Like fall in love, and you do, and then it's like, fuck.
Yeah, and then he comes back, and you're like, well, who do I choose? Who do I choose? That would be, yeah. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. I'd probably just be alone with like 7 cats at that point. I'd just be like, you know what?
Just give up.
I'm done.
That's when I would propose to you. And
I would say yes.
That commune and the goats that we were.
And I would say yes, 100,000. I'd be like, I didn't think you'd ever ask. I'm glad you did.
It's about damn time.
It's about damn time.
Oh.
And then we live happily ever
I
after.
would say Taylor Jenkins Reid. I mean, I've only read, like, I haven't read Malibu Rising yet or Carrie Soto. But I've heard
Malibu
great
Rising's
things.
I've heard Malibu Rising's really good. Carrie Soda I've heard's good as well. Actually, some of the comments for the 1-star one said, "Don't read this book. Read Seven Husbands or Malibu Rising." Yeah. So hopefully,
I feel like, I mean, she's still an insta-buy for me,
but
her new work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say, she hasn't disappointed me with her.
No, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was fantastic. I ate that book up. That was so good.
I love Daisy Jones, like even down to the how it's written in interview style.
It was so interesting.
Still have not seen the show.
No, I have not read.
That's kind of another one where I didn't really hear the aftermath of when like people were starting to watch the show. I didn't really hear how people were liking it.
I didn't realize that the person who plays Daisy Jones was Elvis Presley's granddaughter.
She is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh, that's pretty cool. She gets to play a little like rock and roll.
I had no idea.
That's pretty cool.
So I was like, maybe I do need to give this a shot.
I guess kind of see it. I think what bothers me the most is how Taylor Jenkins Reid like wrote songs for the band and like put the lyrics in the back of the book, and then the show didn't use it.
I know.
Which, I mean, like, maybe it didn't fit to the music, like when it actually came to putting it to instruments or something. But like, try to use some of the lines.
Yeah,
like there was one line in one of the songs that Daisy like sang that was just like killer. I can't remember what it was, but I remember what it was either. Dug it.
Yeah.
And then no,
because I remember looking it up and I was like, oh, they are an actual band. No, they're not. Then it was for the movie.
Yeah, for the show they released, but like they released like a vinyl of it, and it looked pretty cool. Yeah, if I'm into it, if I end up being into the show, I would definitely buy the record of it.
Was that one on Hulu? Daisy Jones and the Six?
I want to say yes. I think it is Hulu. I can look that up. Daisy Jones and the Six, or Netflix. I typed in socks.
Your Netflix finally.
Oh, it's Prime. Maybe that's why we didn't hear too many things about it. Because I feel like not as many people have Prime. Has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not bad at all.
4.2 I usually don't stars.
The only time I watch Amazon Prime is for Judge Judy. I love me some Judge Judy.
Good reviews, apparently.
Okay, well.
Okay, maybe I'll
have to give it a whirl. I've been watching just things on Paramount. Your Netflix finally kicked me out, so.
Oh.
No Netflix for me. I know. It's okay. It's all right. I'll live.
It lets you on there for a while.
It did let me on there for a while, and I could get it back if I just stop at your house and.
That's true. Which I mean, you will eventually. So.
I will be there eventually. Yes.
Next week we have another, basically insta-buy author that you got me into.
Mm-hmm.
We have Kristen Hanna making her way back onto the podcast. We have The Nightingale, and this one I heard a lot of people when they talk about Kristen Hanna, this one is their favorite.
Which is funny because I own pretty much almost all of Kristen Hanna books, but I have not read The Nightingale. The Winter Garden was my absolute favorite. That was the very first book that I ever read from Kristen Hanna and got me hooked.
Mm-hmm. That's the first one you made me read. And yeah, that one hooked me.
I've watched the first season of Firefly Lane on Netflix. I did not finish the second season. That one was pretty good. It has Katherine Hagel and I don't remember who else.
I never remember her name.
But that one's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've read a few of her books now. I own all but her very first book. Her first 2 books are out of print now, and they're like hardcore romance books.
Yeah.
So a little hard to find. But
Yeah.
yeah, I own all the rest now, is how obsessed I am.
She just came out with a new one. The
Yeah,
Woman.
The Woman.
I don't know
I
what
need
it's
to get that
about.
one. Neither do I. And honestly, with Kristen Hanna, it never matters because
Probably
she
in
can make me
hardcover.
care about like which one? The Four Winds is about
Yes. Oh, that's the one that made you
the
cry.
Dust Bowl.
No.
That one, I mean, multiple of her books have made me cry, and
No,
I'm
but
a
there was
heartless bitch. The The Great Alone. The
wasn't
Great
there one
Alone
about
made
a
me cry
goose?
like 3 different
No.
times.
What one had like a goose or something in it? Maybe that
The
wasn't
Great Alone.
hers.
No,
Was it a
The
goose?
Great Alone. I want to say The
Or
Great
was it
Alone.
named goose? I don't remember.
No, there.
There was a bird. There was some type of bird.
I think The Great Alone had a goose in the town.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
man.
I don't remember.
But yeah, The Four Winds is about the literal Dust Bowl,
Yeah.
and I cared.
I own it. I've read more of her like later ones. Like Winter Garden stuff is kind of like in the middle of The Great Alone and Four Winds. Those are newer ones. I have not read those ones.
Yeah.
I own them. I haven't read them yet.
I think the only thing is they're longer books, so you kind of have to prep yourself to like be in the mood for a slightly longer read.
Well, and she's really like the only one that I like historical romance. Like I don't really care for historical romances too much. I don't really gravitate towards them, but like she's the only author that can get me to actually read a historical romance.
Yeah. And her most I mean, not all of them are even romances. Like
I want to look up what The Woman's about.
It's crazy. The Woman.
The Woman.
Yeah, we didn't care about this current book, so we're just gonna make this episode about the book we're reading next week as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to keep this one. I probably will try to read the other ones to see if I'd like those ones, but
I'll probably go ahead and DNF those pretty early on if I'm not feeling it.
I almost DNF'd this one.
I would have if I wasn't reading it for this podcast, which I mean, honestly, it didn't matter anyways because I don't recall most of it.
Yeah. True Colors was pretty good by Kristen Hanna, and maybe I've read Night Road. I've read On Mystic Lake, I think, in Summer Island. Maybe I've read Angel Falls too. Okay, The Woman. Let's see. 20-year-old nursing student Frances McGrath hears these words. It is in a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched idyllic world of Southern California and is sheltered by her conservative parents, she's always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing, and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows his path. As green and unexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, the brave, the broken, and the lost. But war is just the beginning of Frankie and her veteran friends. The real battle lies in coming home to a changed and divided America, to angry protesters, and to a country that wants to forget Vietnam. The Woman is the story of one woman gone to war, but it shines a light on all women who put themselves in harm's way and whose sacrifice and commitment to their country has too been often forgotten. A novel about deep friendships and bold patriotism, The Woman is a richly drawn story with a memorable heroine whose idealism and courage under fire will come to define an era. All right.
The way she researches the time period, like I learn things from these books.
It's
and when
amazing.
you can like sneak in facts while entertaining me, why?
So
I'll say, I've already read The Nightingale.
Yes, you have.
That one is.
She had another one come out in June of last year.
Which one was that?
Another Life.
Another Life.
Yeah.
What? When did she sneak that by us? What the hell? I've never seen that in my goddamn life. Is that a full novel or is it a novella? How many pages is in it? Tell me everything about this. What?
428 pages. So that's a full novel.
What the fuck? When did that happen?
I don't know.
Wow. Oh, well, guess we're fake fans.
Oh, hold on a minute. Published in the US as The Things We Do for Love. Do we have that one?
Oh, that one is like an older book.
Did she like re-release it somewhere else?
She must have.
I'm very confused. Also in 2011, I guess she did a short 41-page story called The Glass Case. Why are we not hearing about these things?
That looks like I have different versions of her books, like different. Yeah. That one looked like the ones in the middle.
I'm very confused.
This is crazy. I would like them all to be like the ones I have in the Nightingale. I like that.
Yeah, she's redoing them. Like she's changing the covers. God, well, no, like some of the ones that I own look like.
Oh, she's updating all of them to match the. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like, I like her early ones. I have a lot of her.
Yeah, they all like look the same, but she's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's fine. She's been writing for a long time.
It said like 2011. Yeah.
Yeah, she has a lot of books.
She's written a ton. Yeah.
She's an instant buy, but like a year later instant buy because it takes that long to get the paperback.
I still have a gripe with authors. Just put them in paperback already. Dang it.
Well, it must be the publishing house.
Probably. The only time I will buy a hardcover is for Nicholas Sparks. I own all of Nicholas Sparks's books, and they're all in hardcover. Right.
Yeah.
So I have to have them look the same.
I don't think I have any series or like authors right now that I'm collecting in hardcover. I like purposely try because I prefer reading with paperback, I must say.
I like paperback.
I can get more comfortable and I can hold it better with my tiny little baby hands in paperback.
That's why I thought you'd like the Kindle, because then you don't have to worry about that.
That's true. I remembered I have an iPad mini.
Yeah.
And so I prepped it. I got a new like thing for it. I bought a
nice pop socket.
Yeah. And I decorated it and I started trying to download the Kindle app because I can get the Kindle app on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered that my iPad mini is the first iPad mini they released. So it's not compatible with the majority of apps out there anymore.
Dang.
So won't work.
Dang as
it. A Kindle.
Shootskis.
It was a big old bummer.
I'm sure if you waited for like Black Friday, you could get a good deal.
Yeah, or like their Kindle days or whatever, Amazon, their Prime days.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens like twice a year, eventually. They'll come back around. I'll probably bite the bullet sometime this year.
It's really nice because then you can just like lay down. You can lay on your side. You can do whatever the heck you want to do. It's magical.
I'm a side. I prefer side read. But
I can't read on the side with a paperback. I can't do it.
If it's like a pocket, like I read that Lisa Jackson one we had, I could get comfy with that because it was small.
Yeah, I
don't like pocket size books.
I don't like them at all.
Don't like it.
Nope.
Oh no, you can be so picky with books.
I'm extremely, and I also have to have like a certain look to them. So like my mom was making fun of me because I had bought Elsie Silver's, like the rest of her series that is out, because I need them all to be the covers of the humans on the front, because that's what the first 3 that I own are. And they're changing the covers, and I'm like, I cannot have,
if it's a series, they have to match.
Exactly.
You
or
can't
I will not
switch it up on me.
No, I refuse.
Absolutely not.
I refuse.
If you change it up, I will just repurchase the whole. I will angrily repurchase the whole thing so they match.
I have to have them all look the same. People that can't, straight to jail.
Yeah, like I'll see some bookshelves, pictures of shelves, and it's like not even different covers, but like people have series, like the first 2 are paperback, and then like the third one's a hardcover. It's like, what are you doing with your life?
I see people carefree. I see people on TikTok that do their bookshelves based on color.
Yeah. And so their series are everywhere.
I can't do that. Like, why do you have one author in the reds and then the same author, but it's in the white? No, if I want to look at an author, I want all of them to be in one spot.
I work tried and true to the Dewey Decimal System. So mine goes by genre, and then within the genre, it is gathered by authors. It's not alphabetical by authors. So I guess I'm not that intense about my Dewey Decimal System, but like, I get by author.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have one bookshelf be like my mystery thrillers, and then probably like the rest of my bookshelves be romance.
That is, yeah. It's rough because for the most part it's gathered by genre, but then I'm tied up by space. So there's some floaters going wherever the hell they'll just fit.
As long as they're up on a thing, yeah. Eventually I'll have all of my books on a shelf.
Into my bedroom where I have a smaller bookshelf for the majority of my horrors I have. And Boomy every now and then my cat will paw out one book. I don't know why he does this. Okay. But yesterday I walk in and he has pawed out most of the entire top shelf of my book, and he's just sitting in the middle of it, waiting for me. So when I come in, he looks at me like, "Look what I did, Mama."
Oh, look what I did. Word.
So proud.
Millie hasn't done that. When I used to stack books just on the floor, Millie would chew on the edges of books.
She's such a tiny little cat, so her little nibbles are just so cute and tiny little pierce mark.
But luckily, when I rearranged my room and I put a lot of my books on one bookshelf in my room, she has not tried to like jump up on there at all. Luckily. She is a very good girl.
I don't know why Boomy.
He just wants to be literate. He wants to try to read. That's what I would gather from that. Maybe you need to get him a cat toy.
I was like, he doesn't want to be Feyre.
Yeah, you're going through those.
I've now finished it. And what I've come to find out is they interconnect with Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass and Crescent City books, which like adds another 10 books.
One of those books is like over 1,000 pages. You're screwed. Are you gonna buy them? You're gonna buy them. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I need a whole nother bookshelf for just those.
Yeah, that's gonna be quite the series.
And that last book, the orange one, the Silver Flames one, is about it follows Nesta. Yeah. The one in the first book, she's kind of a bitch, but then she kind of comes back around by the end of it.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Oh.
The whole 600 pages.
Dang.
I had a tab. I was annotating it. I had a whole tab of moments I just hated her.
No, dang it. Okay, well.
It didn't I liked the male interest. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
I like him.
Okay.
I had a tab of moments where I really like him versus moments I just really
Hated her.
She comes back around eventually. She's just the worst for a while.
Eventually I'll get to that. Oh my gosh, I've got like so many books that I need to read.
There's so many books.
I have like books that I downloaded on my Kindle for Kindle Day that are just like random romance books that the cover looked cute, so I just got it.
You showed me and I want them.
And then there's the books we read here, and then there's books on my other TV.
I'm making a new sticker for my shop, and all it says is my TBR is longer than my life expectancy.
I just need to retire now, so that way I can attempt to.
Maybe.
But once we own a bookstore, then we can just read for a living.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's the goal.
Yeah, you guys like and follow wherever you listen to this podcast and make our dream of owning a bookstore a reality slowly but surely. Mm-hmm. Share this with your other book people.
Yes, if you too like to go off on tangents of just different books. There was just not enough to talk about.
I was bored.
There was not enough to talk about for this book. I didn't
like Susan.
You guys got to hear us just going off on random things because there was just not enough things to talk about for this book. There wasn't any plot twists. It was literally about Elsie and Ben's life, and then Elsie and Susan, and Elsie being mad at the world, and Ben being, Mr. Perfect. I don't know. I just meh.
Being Mr. Perfect by doing the bare minimum of just being a human in the world.
Yeah. I don't recommend this book.
No, just skip over her debut.
Maybe you don't need it.
Maybe I'll read her other ones soon, just so I can figure out whether to keep them or not.
If you like it or not. Yeah. That makes sense.
Now it's gonna haunt me. They're gonna stare at me and be like, can I trust you to be good?
Yeah, my guess is that I probably won't like them, but then once I get to Malibu Rising, then I'll probably get back in the swing.
Yeah, once we get past husbands again. Back in.
We're back in, baby. We're back in. Hopefully next week's better.
Oh, it's gonna be better.
Anything's gonna be better. Well, this book was a pretty low
I was
point.
Mainly saying no one at Taylor Jenkins Reid. We still love her.
We do love her she has evolved. She has gotten better. No one's
good at something their first try, all right?
Some people's debut books are good. This one, not so much.
That's fair.
So the book that you're reading right now is her debut book.
Well, maybe in secret she's written other books. She just hasn't published it.
That's
maybe
true.
Those are real stinkers.
That's true.
We don't know.
That's a good point. No, that's a fair point.
I play devil's advocate.
I have nothing else to say about this book.
I barely had anything to say from the start. So check out our Instagram, a Baby Got Stacks podcast. Give us a follow. You can see our schedule there. I guess I have to post February schedule here soon, since next week is the last week of February. Oh my God, it's the last week of January next week. Yeah.
Oh shoot, skis! I need to post the other photo from our last podcast.
God damn it, Ashley! You have one job in this duo, and it's show up to the. Well, I guess 2 jobs in this duo. Show up to this and post.
The ice threw me off.
That's fair.
I also couldn't
really.
Yeah.
I've not known what day it is.
I couldn't get to the book to post until
That's also true. Slide there.
I couldn't get it. This week I have a bypass, okay?
That's true. You do. Also, I guess I could have taken a picture and sent it to you since I've been stuck in my home with it.
That's fine. We didn't like it anyways, so it's okay.
What was the book?
The Lisa Jackson one?
Oh.
Yeah. So I figured I'd probably post tomorrow.
I can take a picture of it and send it to you, unless you already took a picture of it now.
I did take a picture of it on Friday before I left. Yeah, so I figured I would do Taylor Jenkins Reid tomorrow and then post on Wednesday the Lisa Jackson one.
Don't tag her. Don't tag either of them.
I don't tag them if we don't like them.
We learned our lesson.
Yes, we did.
It got awkward. But you guys should follow us on Instagram, and then you can check out our bio and check out our Goodreads, see what else we have on our shelves. You can let us know if there's something you want us to read sooner rather than later. Lord knows we have a lot to go through, so your opinion would help us because we're indecisive bitches sometimes.
Yes, if you want us to if there's a book that you're just dying for us to read and know about, then let us know.
Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, maybe it's so bad that you want to see if we also think it's
like, bad. I need to hear you trash talk this book. We love judging.
We do. It's a great time.
It's a good time.
It is, yeah.
I think we've already named Judge Judy in this episode. I feel like we mentioned her name.
She's my queen.
She was my grandma's She's mentioned queen. At least twice a month in these podcasts.
No, I don't think I've brought her up before.
Maybe I just think about her a lot.
Probably. I'm waiting for the 3rd season. I'm still waiting. We'll get there. Well, I'm hoping we'll get a 3rd season. First 2 seasons, fantastic. Hopefully 3rd season's still good. She can't do no wrong.
Really? Mm-hmm. How old is she?
She's in her 80s, 70s, 80s. I think 80s.
When I grow up.
She's fantastic. She gives no shits. Absolutely none. It's amazing. It's glorious. And she has her granddaughter on there. Love that.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic. It's great.
All right. Well, we're going to go watch Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.